we've gone through the track, and from the drum perspective, we've figured out what we are trying to achieve as far as what parts we're going to play. There's very specific acoustic drum parts that can be played naturally on acoustic drums, which I feel like we can get away with. There's this loop here, which is it's great and it's a vibe, but I feel like we can cover that with acoustic drums. Yeah. There's this outro drum stuff. You know, that's a live drum kit.
Get a reverb though, it's pretty specific.
Yeah, it's a good sound.
Cool.
And there are also other sounds in here that are very electronic, and to stay true to the nature of the song, should be broken out and sampled to or recreated to achieve this same kind of sound. For instance, this kick sound, it's a pretty specific sound. And then there's some other little loops in here and drum machine-y parts that also sort of fall into that category of staying true to the song. That's a very clear 808 sound there, yeah. You know, you can't really achieve that on an acoustic drum set. So this is where hybrid comes into play, where we don't have the luxury of, you know, taking out a kick drum or taking out a snare drum. We have triggers and we have pads, and we can achieve these sounds through that.
It's a classic 808. I mean, you could just play that if you have a TM6, whatever. All the sounds there, aren't they?
All the sounds. It's a Roland drum machine. It's the classic, you know.
There. What about this guy, the little machine? Filtering. That's tougher though. That'd be really tricky to cut that and sample it. It could be a one-shot loop.
It could be a one-shot loop. It could be on playback.
Sure.
There's various ways we could do it.
Snaps.
Yeah.
What are snaps saying?
Snaps.
Nice.
Very human snaps there.
Both bobbing. Yeah. Fiving those snaps.
Just a snap, man. That's it.
You can cut those. You could play them on a pad for sure.
Throw it on a pad.
But if you listen, the frequency changes, doesn't it? Tonality is different per snap, and the reverb tail's a bit longer.
It does.
It's just multiple samples.
Because it is a live performance.
Yeah.
This is a human performance of snapping in a room. So it does give you an element of a live recording. Ways around this, you could loop this, you could run it on playback, or you could run automation and play different snaps.
Yeah. Or you could just like take two prominent ones and have them on two different pads. There's one shot, like samples.
Exactly. It gives it a little more life and a little room to breathe.
All right. So in the context of us taking this apart, you and I, and playing it as two drummers, I guess we have very different perspectives maybe on how we put a track together as music directors, because everybody's different, right? Subjective. We've got a bunch of pads. We've got two acoustic kits. I think because this track is really organic and sparse with some specific electronic sounds, it'd be really nice for the organic thing to be super organic and maybe explore some synthetic sounds using, I don't know, like towels on drums or chains or something weird alongside samples. Could be kind of cool. Interpreting a loop, perhaps.
Exactly. And a very important part of this song comes from this opening synth part, which I've gone ahead and cut up these samples to apply them to drum pads so that to demonstrate how you can, as a drummer, play a melodic part in a live context.
Well, you're thinking like just doing one-shots, playing the
one-shots of these samples and using automation and multiple pads to play it, as you would on a piano or something like that. But as drummers, you know, we have our sticks.
Sure. I guess if we're chopping this, I guess we'll get into it as we go when we start sampling it, etc. But because the tail of the note hangs on, we need to chop it and add reverb to it so it's nice and smooth, right?
Exactly. There's different techniques to use to make it sound, because when you're getting tight samples like that, especially in you know, hits that are really close together, you do lose a lot of the ambiance of the sound. So you have to find ways to rebuild it.
Say that again in your accent.
Ambiance of the sound.
Oh, fantastic. It's better than ambience. I mean, that's the track, isn't it?
That's the track.
We've got an idea of how to sample it. I guess we need to get into pads and gear and figure out whether we're going to do track or
There's a next video which we'll explain all of that.
Oh, that was seamless.